And this practice is dedicated to our beloved friend, Melanie Castleman, yogi, yoga teacher, teacher of teachers, cellist, dancer, playmate, beloved friend to so many of us within South Africa and way beyond these borders. This is for you. May you fly free and forever walk in beauty. So I wanted to share a practice today that we can do when we are grieving. And I'm sure all of us on this call have had times of grief over the last few years, and even right in this present moment. There's a lot that we're grieving for. And so I find rituals, practices, extremely helpful to sustain us, so that we have a contained place for our own strong emotions, and also so that when we step out into the role of supporting others, we have a capacity to care. So today, the practice that felt most appropriate is one that's often taught in Buddhist circles, and Tara Brach teaches it so beautifully, and it's called RAIN. And the acronym of RAIN stands for to recognize, and then to allow or accept emotions to be here. And then the I is about bringing an intimacy of attention to what we're experiencing. And the N is about nurturing ourselves at times of difficulty. So let's take this practice together, applying it to whatever your context is today. It may have been an argument with a friend. It may be a sense of eco-anxiety. It may be, a grief of the passing of a friend, family member, loved one, colleague. We can apply RAIN in all contexts. And the essence of the practice is that we support ourselves. And then, of course, we can be expansive enough to support others too. So please begin by sitting, or you may like to lie down. And feeling the earth beneath you. Recognizing that the earth is always here to support us, whatever is happening in our lives. Through joy, through sorrow, through difficulties, through successes, the earth is here. A reliable place to come back to, even when emotions feel very, very strong and wanting to carry us away. So feeling all your points of contact with the earth right now in this moment. Getting that sense of being held by the earth. Mother Earth. And next, centering your attention on the breath. Letting it flow in and flow out, finding a rhythm that's soothing for you. And allowing the very passage of breath to offer us that truth that everything changes. There are beginnings, there are endings. The beginning of a new inhale, and then the release. And the ending of an out-breath that gives space for something new to arise. And then that too needs to pass away. So recognizing this circle of life demonstrated by the breath itself. Maybe deepening the breath slightly and allowing the out-breath to be longer, smoother. And remembering that the breath can be an anchor for us. So if at any point the mind wanders, if it feels carried off by memories, by thoughts, by worries, use the breath to come back to. Because being mindful doesn't mean being present all the time. It means remembering to return to the present, to the sense of practicing in community, connecting with the earth, and allowing the breath to sustain us at times of difficulty and sadness. And letting your mind now settle on a difficulty, the loss of a loved one. And for those who knew her, of course, let's really bring Mel into our hearts. And I so appreciated Stephen's words today, that we can be both heartbroken and have such a full heart when remembering somebody who has brought a lot of joy into our lives. It's almost like the heart expands so much that it cracks, it breaks open, it gets bigger. And compassion practices really allow us to touch into that. The heartbreak that expands our capacity to take on even more, and then to be able to offer support to others at their times of heartbreak. So the first step of the practice is to recognize what is an emotion that's with you right now. Maybe naming 2 or 3. There can be anger alongside loss and sadness. There can be regret. So many emotions arise in the face of difficulty. So allowing yourself to settle on one. A sense of turning towards it, seeing it, honoring the information that it's bringing. Allowing it to be here. And once we've named that emotion, bring that intimate attention. How do you feel in this moment in your body? There may be a turning inwards, a contraction, or an opening, a heaviness or a lightness. What's happening in your body right now? Perhaps a knot, tightness of breath. Sometimes just by noticing it allows it to release. So seeing if you can allow whatever physical sensation is here. Bringing a sense of care to ourselves as we notice. And bringing that same intimacy now to the heart. Noticing all the feelings. Sometimes there's a constellation of feelings, ones that are hiding underneath the presenting emotion. So naming those too and allowing them to be present. within our practice, where our feelings are contained, it's the opportunity to let them all rise to the surface and to be met with compassion and kindness. And if it helps you, I find the gesture of bringing a hand to the heart very comforting at times of sorrow, times of challenge. So maybe feeling the warmth of your own touch, the softness of the hand, and even if there are feelings that are uncomfortable to name, like guilt or shame, turn towards them too. Expand the heart big enough to take in whatever is arising for you right now. And noticing now what thoughts are moving through the mind, stories, those little brain worms that go round and round. Sometimes we solidify around a particular story. It makes us feel tight and held within one particular view. So seeing if there can be space for other thoughts as well to arise. Of course, the happy memories of someone often bring the biggest sadness. And yet at the time they brought so much happiness. So allow both things to be held within this moment, within this community that is practicing together. Remembering that thoughts arise spontaneously. We're not responsible for the thoughts that come, but we can meet them once they're here with kind attention, that sense of nurturing. So we recognize whatever is present for us and allow it to be here. And as we look, experience the body, the heart, the mind's response to sadness, to grief, to difficulty, frustration, to that sense of not knowing what to do, turn towards each of those experiences and allow them to be right here, right now, held within the vastness of awareness and held within this community of practice. So even if the most tender and vulnerable part of yourself has revealed, like your inner child, offer yourself nurturing once again. Perhaps with that hand on the heart, perhaps with loving words. May I feel cared for during this time of grief. This too shall pass. Let me be present for it while it's here. So using a voice tone that feels nurturing, caring. Talking to yourself the way that you would to a dear friend. And what we find too is when we're able to turn towards ourselves, there's an inner strengthening. The compassion seems to transition into an inner courage as well, to face whatever grief, whatever sense of unfairness, whatever anger may arise. And when that inner compassion and courage expands our hearts, we can now imagine sharing this same nurturing attention with others. So imagining now the whole community that has felt touched by the passing of our dear friend Mel. Or for those who didn't know her, imagine the community that's touched by the passing of your dear ones. And sending out wishes. May you all feel safe. May you all feel protected. May you open to the love that gives rise to grief. May you be well. And returning once again to your own breathing rhythm. Recognizing within this soothing breath that everything arises, is born, and everything passes away, dissolves, comes to the end. This is the truth of being human. And maybe bringing to mind that wonderful saying, when the sunlight of love meets the rain of sadness, the rainbow of compassion arises. And so often when someone passes, we see a rainbow. It reminds us of their life, their journey through to wherever we believe they may be going. And certainly with our friend Mel, we know she's going to light up wherever she heads next. She shone so bright. We were blessed to have her for a short time. But her love, her light will live on as her legacy. And once again, feeling the earth beneath. We're held steady by this Mother Earth that contains everything. Uses the compost of our sadness to grow something beautiful. So if you'd like to, bringing hands together at the heart, honoring yourself for facing difficulties that we all have to do every single day. And recognizing that the more courage we find through compassion, the more we can send out this care into the world around us, building communities of care, of love, of compassion. May we all be well. May we all be free from sorrow. May we be happy. May our lives flow with ease. Fly free, Mel, walk in beauty. We love you and miss you.